Welcome to the Bold Analysis. Today, the 7th day of April 2025. Murang'a Governor Irungu Kang'ata has a message for the president. And I realized during the Mount Kenya tour, he's amongst the governors that decided not to endorse William Ruto's re-election and even neither comment on 2027 prospects. But in this podcast, we are going to delve deep into this letter of Kang'ata to the president on 2027 prospects. Kang'ata from Murang'a, Wamatangi from Kiambu, Badilisha from Nyandarua are some of the three outstanding governors that kept off William Ruto's 2027 endorsement. In a verdict captured well in this article, why the 2027 political journey is still hazy, Kang'ata warns the president and tells him that unlike other elections, 2027 is way too far from being called home, lining out two critical factors that really still are going to dampen, that has the potential of dampening the hopes. The hype and the hullabaloo of crowds in Mount Kenya that then analysts used to explain and run a narrative that the mountain is back to the president is what, according to in my view, Kang'ata is saying too far, too casual, and you can't afford any comfort. Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell and like our videos. And I want to say thank you very much for supporting this podcast. Subscription is absolutely free. So when you're subscribed to this channel, you'll be getting notifications all the time and you'll not miss any of a well-analyzed video. Allow me choose this one video of Kang'ata talking in his constituency, in his county in Murang'a. And what happened is, I'm choosing it because the day he spoke is the day Mary Maua decamped to William Ruto's team, joined William Ruto's team, and Ruto publicly asked the crowd for Kang'ata to support him. But Kang'ata never took it. So I want you to listen to that speech. You see the way it is very clean, not from the 2027 politics.
Professor Kindiki, mawaziri, wabunge, tunakaribisha kila mgeni hapa Murang'a. La pili, Your Excellency, niko na two issues. Ya kwanza ni mambo inahusu masomo. Your Excellency, Your Excellency, mambo ya masomo, sisi kama county government, wakati national government inatu request to support na program, sisi tunawa support. Kwa mfano, affordable housing imetengenezwa kwa land za county. Hii soko imetengenezwa kwa land za county na sisi hatuoppose. Hivyo pia, sisi tuna request national government ipatie ruksa counties government ziendelee kupatiana basari hapa Murang'a. Your Excellency, iko barua iliandikwa na control budget. Akasema counties ziwache kupatiana basari. Tuko na watoto wa nyota yetu 1,400. Iko na watoto 10,000 wa day school. Iko watoto 35,000 wa ward. Total 50,000. Tukaambiwa tuandikiwe barua na Ministry of Education. Your Excellency, hiyo barua ikikosa kutokea, hizo programs zitaanguka. Na kuomba uambie Minister wa Education atupatie ruksa basari za county ziendelee. La pili, Your Excellency, ni mambo inahusu ukulima. Sisi tulikuja na program ya kupatiana mbegu, si ndio? Na hizo mbegu price yake ni 500 and something, lakini kule Kitale imeenda 400. na kuomba ili next time tuweze kupatia more farmers, utusaidie hiyo mbegu ya 400, hata sisi tukinunua kwa national government iwe pia 400, tupatie more farmers hapa Murang'a. La mwisho, Your Excellence, Murang'a County is the only county katika hii area ambayo haina international stadium. Sisi tunaweza tuwa na an international stadium. Wajua kuko na michezo inakuja in the next 2-3 years ya Africa, si ndio? If Murang'a inaweza pewa a stadium tu, hawa vijana wataona mahali ya kucheza na vijana wa Murang'a waendelee. Asante.
Kang'ata is telling the president that 2027 is not yet shaped. And those then telling him that because you've got crowds in Mount Kenya, you are sorted, those people are lying to the president. Do you agree with Kang'ata? That unlike the previous elections, this one is not clear. And the president should get worried while celebrating. He's been dismissing, saying, those my competitors, walete agenda, walete barabara wamejenga. But in real sense, it is more dangerous that 2 years to that election, you still don't know who is. Things are still not aligned. In fact, he's saying Mount Kenya is not yet aligned with Ruto. And you cannot bank on it because of these factors. I would want you to pay attention to keenly. Make sure you watch this part. And he's saying the first factor is Uhuru factor on 2027 dynamics, why things are not yet aligned. And this is what he says. First is Uhuru factor. Uhuru is like the character in a movie by Arnold Schwarzenegger, The Terminator 2. That is the shape-shifting Terminator made of liquid metal, which once shot or bombed turns into a liquid smithereens. But a few seconds, the liquid smithereens morph back into human-like metal that causes bomber. Now, this is what he explains. In the 2022 elections, the mountain had bombed the Terminator. Some had thought he had been buried, but he's now back politically, chasing around his nemesis. Incidentally, he's not talking or giving any outright directions, but in various political discussions, his name features prominently. Even the president had to go and visit him in his rural home. And this is what he says. The president took time and his handlers attacking Rigathi Gachagua. And then that makes them feel that the enemy is an alleged Rigathi candidate. Kang'ata is saying, Uhuru is back. Uhuru is back. And remember that Jubilee Party is spending time in Nyamira backing the candidature of Matiang'i, who is supposed to be back in the country in May to launch his presidential bid. I'm one person that believe if Matiang'i can't be here by May, the busybodies Kioni should not talk about his presidential bid. You can't want to be president and you are hiding somewhere. Yeah, you can't be a president, you're hiding somewhere in the US. You have to come here. Yeah, face the troubles. People say he's fetching charges. Let him come and face those charges here. Let him acquit himself with the local politics, the terrain local here. Ende mahali afukuzwe nini. That is it. But you cannot be saying you want to be president and you're hiding somewhere in the US. Or rather, you are still keeping yourself very comfortable at the other end. So, and that is one thing Kang'ata is saying. The second factor is very interesting. Small communities will matter. And this is it. He's saying they are no longer small. They are actually big now. The voters of Turkana, Masai, Somali, and such ethnic groups have been on an upward trajectory. Any good political grouping must have an eye to these members and think of ways of penetrating them. And let me just talk about this. The president is scouting Somali, the northeastern corridor. And that could be seen when recently he toured in March. I think that was in late February or early March when he toured northeastern, making the statements about the ID vetting and all that. But then look at Masai. Rigathi Gachagua was in Kajiado, and he said that the chairman of the Masai of the party is going to come from Masai, which Rigathi was targeting that. And he has a very good ground in Kajiado. I don't know, I've just realized there is really mobilizing crowds in Kajiado. President recently, and the deep state are believed to be the people that are planting Ledama Olekina, the Narok senator, to try to fix himself in Kajiado. And over the weekend, there were chaos in Kajiado when Ledama Olekina allegedly took some 2,000 gold to some youth groups as sort of some empowerment.
Na huyo kiongozi leo anatukana Council of Elders. It is okay, alitutukana sisi jana. Hata kwa mila yetu ni rika yetu. But hatutakubali baba zetu, kanisa zetu situkanwe. Hiyo, you are getting into dangerous grounds. Tuliona mwenye kutuma huyo Ledama. Tunataka kumwambia afunge umbwa zake. Na afunge umbwa zake. Watu wa Kajiado wameonyesha uvumilivu, na tumeona mwenye mpwa na ni mojapa wetu hii county yetu, our state house controller. It is getting enough. Watu wa Kajiado wamekuwa watu watulifu, na utulifu yao sio uoga. You know, kulete kiongozi moja na kupatia lori 12 ya JSU ni kuonyesha uoga mkubwa sana, kumaanisha kuna uhalifu ilipangwa. You know, kwa sababu tuko na mkutano hapa. If we have a police officer hapa, nakaa tu na sisi. We are from a very big meeting in Kitengela, big masses. Tulifurahiana, tumecheka, tumefungua soko yetu, tumezungumza maendeleo yetu. Kajiado haijakuwa mahali ya ukorofi. Na kwa hivyo inamaanisha waliopanga hiyo walijua haistahili, ndio wakalete security kiasi hicho. Tunashukuru security wetu, lakini tunajua vijana wetu kidogo waligongwa, na tunataka sasa ikwame hapo, isimamie sasa hapo. So mimi nawashukuru nyinyi, na niombe wana Kajiado, sisi tuko na njia yetu ya kusema maneno yetu, ya kuishi maisha yetu, ya kufanya biashara zetu na maendeleo yetu. We will keep that spirit. We will keep that spirit as Kajiado. Tutaweka hiyo spirit. So mimi nimefurahi sana leo wana Kajiado kuzindua miradi.
And Kajiado leaders raised their voices against Ledama. And this, if you ask me, is partly what Irungu Kang'ata is explaining. That some small communities, the communities that were perceived as small, are also going to have a very big say on who becomes the president. Interestingly, the third one, Baba, or rather is the second, Baba. What is he up to? He seems to be giving all manner of signals. He's acting like a beautiful young lady who is being courted for marriage. The man buys her expensive clothes, houses, and vehicles. But on the day of consummation, she starts to give all kinds of excuses. With his solid support, his firm settlement will give 2027 elections some clearer direction. And I like the fact that the Kang'ata is talking about the mixed signals, because these signals are very critical as we talk. Raila Odinga, and I think when Ruto went to Mount Kenya too, I agree with what my friend was actually telling me that when Ruto went to Mount Kenya and endorsed Kindiki for 2032, ODM felt irritated. The Raila and Ruto have been talking about unity, that we are united for unity. But when the president was in Mount Kenya, he avoided that discussion of Raila deal for unity. In fact, he never spoke about the unity agenda in the context of working with Raila Odinga. And Raila Odinga went to Mombasa and is now looking like a jilted lover, coming out now attacking the president for the first time since the handshake deal. Something that then he says makes it more clear. Do you remember that I'm saying they might be on ballot in 2027? And those are the things that Kangata is saying. It is not yet clear. Thirdly, a key political factor for 2027 might be the Gen Z. This tribeless, leaderless cohort, how big is it? Whom will they support? IBC is about to be reconstituted. Mass voter registration will commence soon. The political size of this group is about to be known. If indeed politicians realize it is a huge constituency, 2027 political messaging by government and opposition will have to be recast to suit their tastes. And that is why the likes of Babu finds themselves safe. They will, the leadership, the mainstream leadership has tried to deconstruct and divide that movement. But one of the things there is that first-time voters might not be in their tastes when you work on those tribal arrangements. It might not be in their taste. In 2027, some first-time voters are people who were born in 2007. We are in 2027. People who were born in 2008. Some of these people really, it might not be easy to sell the tribal test. And that is why things are going to be very difficult. Now, just to acknowledge that Ruto is having a tough ride in 2027, while he was in Mount Kenya, clearly he was on a campaign mode, but no mention of UDA. So even there, people don't seem to know which party together is yet to launch his. He was supposed also to hold some church service on Sunday in Mount Kenya to culminate the tour, but the church network seemed to have been collapsed. Vocal MPs supporting him are finding it rough to speak before the people. Thank you.